So I want to share about karmic relationships. This is from Planetary Oracle 333 on Instagram. A karmic relationship does not come to comfort, but to awaken. It's not about lasting harmony or a perfect ending, but a soul agreement made beyond time, designed to reveal the illusions we've layered over love. These connections do not just reflect desire, they expose unhealed wounds and they stir the ache of abandonment, fear, and rejection. Fear of rejection, deep hunger to be seen, and leaving us face to face with our own truth, not to punish, but call us back to remembrance. They're sacred disruptors, stripping away fantasy and illusion so we can rise in clarity. And when the bond dissolves, it is not just heartbreak, but the moment we begin to truly awaken. The threshold where fantasy ends and soul truth begins to lead. Many karmic relationships mimic what was learned in early life when love was tangled with fear, inconsistency, emotional abandonment, and imprint blueprint. Chaos can feel familiar and even comforting. Karmic relationships, passion rooted in unhealed trauma. Cyclic, not alignment. Continuing till we realize love is not something to survive, but something that supports growth, peace, and expansion. The heart must unlearn its attachment to pain, but it can recognize peace as love. Before it can recognize peace as love. Karmic relationships are not random. They operate through encoded energy, pulling two together with an intensity that feels fated, but is actually a magnetic contract meant to surface, to bring unresolved patterns. Meant to bring unresolved patterns to the surface via triggers. For example, sense of worth, fear of abandonment, deepest emotional wounds. The attraction is not always forever, but rather a mirror of what's ready to transform. And until that mirror is recognized, the pattern tends to repeat. Awareness is the first step to liberation. The souls sometimes sign these contracts just to break them in the name of freedom. The soul is drawn to hurt as a call for healing. The karmic relationship awakens cellular memory. Bringing unresolved energy and emotions to light. The longing, magnetic pull, and obsession is not weakness, but the echo of something incomplete. The pull shows where the heart is bound to the past, where it's not to destiny, but an invitation to release, which is when we reclaim our own energy and stop reaching toward what reopens our wounds and begins anchoring in what restores wholeness. As soon as we stop chasing closure, we begin returning to self. In karmic relationships, emotions can feel stormy, overwhelming heights followed by crashing lows, addictively intense, and confuses the nervous system. Instability as passion. So I'm going to read that again. In karmic relationship, when we reclaim our own energy and stop reaching toward what reopens our wounds and begin anchoring in what restores wholeness, as soon as we stop chasing closure, we begin returning to self. In karmic relationships, emotions can feel stormy, overwhelming heights followed by crashing lows, addictively intense, and it confuses the nervous system. Instability might seem like passion, and the cycle of emotional craving and withdrawal can be mistaken for love. A chemical bond is not a soul bond. True love does not destabilize, it grounds. Awakening begins when we remember peace is not boring. It's the frequency of safety, presence, and real connection. And real connection builds slowly through stillness, not chaos. Sacred sexuality was never meant to be casual, in other words, lust. It confuses the soul. It's an illusion built on unresolved emotional wounds. And until we honor the power of this exchange consciously, it's emotional, spiritual, and vibrational, and the sex amplifies the attachment, so it makes the energetic web much harder to escape. Also, it distorts clarity. We risk remaining bound by the very energy we were meant to alchemize. Karmic relationships chosen by the soul. These are initiations, not mistakes, to break open what's suppressed and to bring forward the hidden truths and teach us to stop betraying ourselves, where we need boundaries, where silence has taken root, and where love has been confused with suffering. These kinds of bonds shake the spirit awake, and the pain has a purpose. It's not there to keep us stuck, but to push us into evolution. Through them, we rise stronger, clearer, more aligned with what's real, and pain clears the path where clarity can finally take root. When the soul has absorbed the lesson, the contract begins to dissolve. We no longer compulsively chase pain or fix what's not ours to carry. Energy shifts, boundaries clear, and the nervous system can find stillness. And for the first time, love doesn't need a hurt to feel real. The old codes unravel. The moment of karmic imprint fades. Through conscious choice, presence, and truth, a new path energetically opens. One that is built on awareness, not repetition, and in this space, peace becomes the new chemistry and clarity becomes the new flame. This is where love is no longer earned through suffering but received through embodiment. As a karmic relationship tie releases, we return to the essence of real connection, love meeting us undistortedly. A bond reflecting truth, not trauma. A relationship supporting evolution, coming together not to complete one another, but to grow, rise, and remember. Without the karmic relationship guiding the heart, we begin creating something new. Love rooted in freedom, wholeness, and soul. This isn't the end of love, but a new paradigm of the awakened self. Led by radiance of conscious union, no longer ruled by cycles of pain. From that frequency, love becomes a living reflection of soul alignment. And I went to an OA meeting to start to kind of tolerate some of this, because I felt like, when I didn't have control in the relationship, or it was too painful, I would always numb myself with food. And so the emotion. So I was thinking about how I didn't, not letting people get too attached to an aspect of me that I have to then maintain. It's like pinning myself down, shrinking myself for other security and comfort, and finding my other point, which is like opposite across from the focus. So let's say I think I'm here, I find the behind that and the other point. So it helps me to land without over gravity heaviness in the front facing. Like if I get too stuck in northwest, I can look at southeast too. If I'm deep, maybe I'm also shallow. I don't need to encircle myself with anyone who doesn't bring me happiness or closer to my goals or angers me by violating me, controlling me against my will, where I sacrifice without getting closer, because sacrifice brings close. It's supposed to make closer. To give only when I can give without resentment, without strings attached. And for example, 2 people told me that I was looking healthy, and I was like feeling like I don't want to have to be only the healthy person. Like I don't have to think of myself as having to be the healthy one. In other words, because I'm without strings attached, like only because I'm okay with it, only because I'd otherwise want to and welcome, my time, my energy, my company is sharing rather than having to be somebody for someone. Good company is critical. I'm only meant to offer my will to a loving higher power where, in other words, my understanding of Hashem, God, where pain is only offered for cleansing, purity, awakening, rising, growing. Like pain is for a purpose. There's not just random pain for no reason just because God likes to hurt people. So I can trust the health in showing up, doing whatever my higher power, whatever Hashem guides me. Just for today, going with the flow, healing in intentions, dedications, motivations. And the messages I got was like about internal versus external validation. So to start to have that karmic relationship, this person starts to become part of me. And also this idea of like the 2-way prayer guidance is like when you turn to God and you ask God, like, okay, so I'm listening to you instead of going to someone outside of me. And so I felt I got from Hashem the message, I don't have to grab and hold on to anything physical. Clinging to God, offering my whole self, will free me and attract in my blessings that'll come to me magnetically, naturally, without force. And this idea, so I don't believe I have to suffer for love, but also that people are limited. I don't have to let people hurt me or take responsibility for them or their emotions, not because they want to harm me, because a human can be selfish or opportunistic sometimes. So it's also adjusting my expectations. And then finally, I want to share, I had a message from Hashem, like when I really took this practice, not in the OA meeting, but a little deeper. It was, and the message I got was, you're not, and I want to encourage people to do it because I got really like helpful messages. You're not broken, you're just not full yet. You don't have to hold it all. Let me hold you too. Surrender, relax in me. I want to rest with you. Make more time for me. Listen better in the quiet and the peaceful stillness. Don't be afraid of the space. It's actually very full. Feel free to be dramatic. I love your excitement, spunkiness, boldness, and acting. Don't shy away from meeting your special needs. Your security and self-allowance is contagious. I have a perfect revelation gradually and in good company for you on the journey. All you have to do is turn away from bad and turn toward good. Everything else is taken care of. And we'll stop there. Wish you all the best. May we all feel like Hashem is hugging us. May we feel warmth. And always Simchas Parak Geder, the happiness that breaks all boundaries. To be responsible and appropriate and grateful and functioning well and taking good care of ourselves and being our own best friend. Connected to our intuition. And sure, the center of our world, but also able to share the world with everybody else. To feel motivation, to feel fulfillment, to feel satisfaction. To have good company.